Hi everyone, so this is the first video for my experience of how my experience was in the SSB. So this is basically the part one, which is the first day of my SSB of how it was. Okay, so I'll be sharing from the morning of how it went. So starting from the morning, so we were supposed to report at 5:30 a.m. near the Karyappa Road, 11 SSB Allahabad. So basically it has five boats, so mine was 11 SSB. So we reported there, and then at 6 a.m. the personals came. We were in a line, and then the first thing which will be checked is your ID card, whatever you have. Either it can be your Aadhaar card, PAN card, or the voter ID. And then your since my entry was CDS entry, so my CDS admit card. So after this is being checked, then afterwards you'll be again for fall in a line, and then you'll sign some document. And after that, you'll be told to put your luggage near some shade. Put, like, everybody will put their luggage near that, and then afterwards you'll be told to go for the breakfast. So we also went for the breakfast, and I was so happy because my personal thing is to, like, everybody goes to get recommended, but there are certain things which you enjoy being, being anywhere. So my personal thing was food, so I was so excited after listening this, and then we went to go for the breakfast. And in the breakfast, there was two options. If you're veg, if you're non-veg, you had both the options. You can eat any of that. And since I'm a big non-veg foodie, so I chose to eat egg. And the breakfast was so good, it was really good. And after our breakfast, we were supposed to again fall in a line. And then after that, the test was supposed to be conducted. So the first test which was there was the OIR test, which is officers intelligence ranking test. So for the OIR, there were two tests. So we were supposed to go into a big hall, like it has the capacity for the every candidate which has gone. So we were there, and the test was conducted. The first test, it was of 50 questions. So we were supposed to solve 50 questions, and in the second test it was 40 questions. And the level of questions, like the level was so easy, like it's easy, or it will be little moderate, like some of the questions. And I'll tell in my further videos about, like, what were the exact questions, what kind of questions is asked, which you need to prepare for the OIR. But I'll suggest that if even if you're not preparing for OIR, and you have a certain level of IQ and good maths, like average maths, I would say, so then also you're able to clear that OIR test. And yes, remember that for the OIR tests, if you're not going there for now and solving at home, then just remember that the number of questions which you are solving, the time allotted is either half, either half of the questions of what you're having, or less than that. So meaning that if you're solving 50 questions, then the time allotted will be either 25 minutes, or less than 25 minutes will be allotted to you, and in that time only you have to solve the questions, right? And I would say that the good part of OIR is that there is no negative marking. So even if you're falling this lack of time and you have 3 to 4 questions and you know that you'll not be able to make it, if that is the case, then you can easily mark any of the options which you find suitable. And obviously there is going to be no negative marking. So you may score some of the questions or you may not score, but like this is the trick if there is no negative marking. So this was the wire test, and after that again we were told to relax. We were told to go to washrooms, like. So after that some half an hour break will be there, and after that there will be the conduct of PPDT, that is picture perception and description test. So in our case, the picture was of 11 to 12-year-old boy, and he was sitting near the piano table, like in front of the piano table, and just beside the piano table was some sort of notice board. So this was the picture shown to us. And since it's PPDT, so the pictures are hazy, they are hazy, unlike the tat pictures. The PPDT pictures are little hazy, or sometimes it can be very hazy that you might not be able to perceive of what is being given in the picture. So my picture was this, and then we were allotted 30 seconds to see that picture, like properly, like everything, because in PPTT it's very important that you see every bit of the picture. You can't miss anything. And then 30 seconds was given, and after that we were given 4 minutes to write the story. And what happens is that it's kind of stopwatch. So the timer will be on for the PPDT test. The timer is on, 30 seconds over, again the timer will be on, right, simultaneously. Then you have to write the story. There will be no time gap in between that. Then after you have wrote the story, so obviously the A4 sheets will be collected and they'll be submitted. And after that there'll be a gap of half an hour to it might increase upon when the discussion test, or the group discussion is going to take place. So for the GD, I was since I was a screen out from my first SSB, and this was my second SSB. So I was in that screen out batches, because when you go to the SSB and before the OIR test, they'll divide every student based on the category freshers, that is the persons who have never appeared in any SSB. Second, who has been screened out in any of the SSBs or previous SSBs, right? They are the screened out cadets. And third is the third is the group of the cadets or candidates who have been previously conferenced out or recommended, right? So these are the three groups in which they divide us. So I was in the screen out group. So group discussion also will take place with your groups only, right? Like the fresher candidate will not be in a group discussion with the recommended or the screened out cadet, right? So after this the group discussion was there. So my group discussion, it was it's really like a fish market. It is like that, but this is supposed to how it has to take place. And if you have to make out of yourself, then you have to speak. Like there is no other way, you have to speak, even when everyone is speaking and even when no one is speaking, you have to speak, right? So this would I say was my mistake of what I didn't do in my previous SSB, but I didn't repeated it in this SSB. And so I spoke, like I was speaking. So now for the group discussion, how it is going to start is that you'll be seated in a semicircle, and like this is the semicircle, and just in front of the semicircle there'll be 3 chairs. and your psychologist, GTO, and the interviewing officer. Those three will be seated there, and so they'll be seeing us like properly. But there is a rule that when the group discussion starts, or when your individual storytelling is going on, you don't have to see the SSLs. You have to perceive as if they are not there. You have to just discuss it or narrate it to your group which is there. So in my group, I remember there were 13 people, and so out of 13 people, so like chess number, like the starting chess number, she started narrating her story, and afterwards, it uh, like just went. So my story which I had made was that my hero was outside of that picture which was shown, which was a girl of my age who has done her engineering, and so she once saw that her younger brother was playing on piano, and he was playing like good. It was not very good, but yeah, it was good. He was playing. So seeing his enthusiasm to learn piano, she started taking his lessons, and after that he was able to perform in an annual day assembly, and he was able to win the prize. And so after seeing this, she was very excited, and she was very like she was more motivated, and so she started teaching other underprivileged kids also the piano who were not able to afford. And so this was the story which I had made, right? The exact story was somewhere near here only, because now I can't narrate the same thing which I had written there, right? So after that, so one of the thing is that when you have made a story, now everybody was narrating, so I was in between the semicircle. So when it started with some piano story. The girl candidate which started, so it was a piano story. So when you hear some sort of the same story, somewhere around that which you have made, you feel enthusiastic about yourself, that okay, now there is a chance that group story might be somewhere around this theme. But this is not always the case. For that you have to be ready. This is what SSB is, that you have to respond and react like according to the current situation which is there. You cannot act something, or you cannot perceive something which you have earlier perceived, right? This is not the case in the SSB. So like everybody was saying the story, and there were 4 stories in total which was based on piano, and some stories were out of the theme, maybe some nuclear energy and all of those things. But some stories were on that notice board was also there, so somebody made on that also. So after this, after everybody narrated the story, so the group discussion started, and we started the group discussion. Now it was a wholesome fish market, so everybody was putting in their points, but no one was able to listen. But this is the point where you need to listen also, and you need to say also. You need to listen about what everyone is telling, and you need to put your points. You need to add to the points of what others are saying. You may have the addition or subtraction. And likewise, the GD was conducted, but since it was a fresh market and no outcome was coming, so the SSS divided the group into 2, and he said that first group will decide, like first group will discuss about the story, and then afterwards the second. So I was in the second group. So when first group was discussing, I was keenly listening to what they were discussing, and where the final group story is coming, like at what theme. So in the first subgroup, this theme was the piano. They were on the piano side. And in my second group, firstly, people were not agreeing to the piano theme. They were on that notice board theme. But since I took the initiative and told them that since first group has decided on the piano, and since it was piano was very uh, visible on the photo. Okay, so I tried to convince my group about the piano theme, and finally they were convinced. And then the SSS told that okay, now you may discuss like collectively. And so we discussed, and the theme was the piano theme. So after the discussion, one of the SSs said that now any of you can stand and tell the final group story. So this is what is very important, I would say, because he's not telling that you discuss among the group of who will tell. Because in many of the cases this kind of system is there, that he will tell that whomever the group might feel suitable can stand up and tell the story. But this time the assessor is telling that whoever among you is feeling that you have understood the group story, you can stand. So I immediately stood up, and so assessors told me that you ask your group first that whether you can see or not. So I asked the group, they were agreeing, and so I said the final group story. So this was our discussion part, and after that it ended well. And then afterwards we were sent out of the hall. And then after coming out, everybody will chit chat, how was mine, how was my narration, how was my discussion, was I speaking in the discussion, were you able to hear what I was saying, were you able to hear my points. So there will be things like that, and I think this is very normal, because everyone thinks that though in that moment they were not able to make it out that what was happening, but at least after, when everything is done, then everybody wants the feedback, basically. So after that feedback, we were immediately sent to our lunch. Again, I remember it was mutton curry in the lunch, and I was so I was so motivated. I was like, I just went and I ate the mutton curry very well. And so it was very good experience. We also talked to friends, because it was a table of 4 or 5 chairs, so you are not alone sitting, so you have a group of people around you. You might don't know, but you have to speak, like you have to talk maybe a little bit from where you are, and like that. So this was how it was. And after the lunch, we were waiting for our results. And then again we were supposed to come into a hall, and the results were announced. And we were I remember we were some 90 plus number we had. And no, it was I'm very sorry, it was somewhere around 70s, the total number of candidates who had reported. And out of that, 31 out of us were screened in. So after my name was also announced, so I was so happy. And there was a moment of joy. And those who couldn't make out, there were some who were weeping, but you can't do anything. I was someone who had experienced it before, so I know the pain of being screened out. But you have to accept it, there is no other way, right? So um then the screening results were announced, and then we were given some sort of time to take our luggage, and then share it with the family and friends. So I just shared it, and I remember my mom was so happy. And if your mother is happy, your family is happy, you are surely to feel happy, right? So, and this way it like the process ended. And then we were allotted the new chess numbers, and we were allotted a hostel. Then we took our beds. Like, you can take any bed, so I just took the bed which was just under the fan, right? So we then after that yes, after the hostel allotments and all, we were supposed to fill some documents. Document filling is such a rigorous process that you will surely feel like, why the hell I got screened in, you know. And same you will feel once you are conference in, like you are recommended, and same you will feel when you're going for the medicals. So you are going to feel feel this torture after crossing every stage of the SSB, because you will fill a number of forms, right? And you will fill like same form 3 to 4 to 5 times sometimes, right? So this is a rigorous process, because you think like, can't they just do a photocopy of this document, because this is the same document? But no, this is not the way. This is how the process is, and you will have to get through that. So after that, yes, we just did our chit chat, and the second day it is GTO, so we were just sleeping to prepare for the second day, because we were already told that you have to report at 5:30 a.m. So obviously we were like, okay, 5:30 a.m. we need to sleep very good, because we need to perform obstacles the next day. So good sleep is very required. So after that we slept properly. So this was my overall experience of the first day of SSB, and in my part 2 I'll be telling about my after the screening process, about the next days of my SSB. So hope my experience will motivate someone, right? So just stay tuned to my channel, and please subscribe and like my channel. And also this is my experience. I'll share my experience, and afterwards I'll upload videos on how you can improve your performance, or how you can perform well in SSB. So for that, just go through my channel and just see my videos. Thank you.